It is a great privilege for me to stand here to present a video lesson on the topic why to study biology. I express my great heartfelt thanks to our Honorable Commissioner of KVS to select me as a part of this pilot project, IIT PAL project. As we all know that PAL project, Professor Assisted Learning, to enhance the importance of studying biology and to create or inculcate enthusiasm and much more awareness in learning biology. Myself is Jalaja Sajeev, PGT Bio from KV Keshapuram, and I joined KVS in the year 1995 as PGT Biology, and I spent my 22 years of experience in this field in different domains, even in the south, even in north and in the northeast place also. And it is my passion to teach biology. My ambition was to become a biology teacher only, and I got this ambition, or I got stimulation from my biology teachers who taught biology in a beautiful manner. So, I got motivated from them and I opted this field to make my service to our beloved students. So, why to study biology? You all know that biology is a branch of science that deals with life and living organisms. And you all know again the father of biology, Aristotle, and according to him, biology is the branch that deals with the dynamic life, ever dynamic life and their interaction with the environment, which includes botany as well as zoology, and so many other branches comes under it. So, why to study biology? What is the motivating force that drive us to learn biology? As we all know that we ourselves are the human beings, our body is so much intricate and complicated. So, we have to learn the complexity of our body, not only our body, but the body of plants as well as animals, even the microorganisms. So, when you are observing a building, you all know that the basic unit of it is bricks, stones, like that. So, like that our body is also made up of the basic simplest unit, that is cell. And Robert Hooke in 1665 discovered cell by observing these small or even thin slices of cork under his rudimentary microscope. And at that time it was not named as cell, it was named as cellulae, which means compartments. The small honeycomb like structures that was named as cellulae, which later it was named as cell, and these simple basic structural as well as functional units that constitutes the body of each and every organism in this world. And how these cell get organized? You know that cells are arranged to form tissues, a group of isodiametric cells that will form, that have the same origin and contribute to a common function, which forms the tissues. Similar tissues then arrange together and forms the tissue systems. That means organs will be formed, and from organs again organ systems are developed, and organ systems are arranged in an intricate manner in a complex manner to form the complex association, that is the organism, the dynamic unit. And how these cells work, that based on different metabolic reactions, and all these metabolic reactions are controlled by the center of the cell, that is nucleus. Nucleus is known as the cell center, which controls all the activities, all the functions, all the metabolisms, biochemical reactions that takes place inside a cell. And inside that nucleus, when we analyze, we can see that there are chromosomes, which is made up of DNA, the deoxyribonucleic acid, which in turn when we analyze, it consists of so many basic units, units of transmission of characters, unit of inheritance of characters from parents to offsprings, and that is the genes. So, how these genes work? Genes, each and every gene is meant for producing a particular character. They express by producing proteins, an assemblage of amino acids in a definite pattern. So, before that production of proteins, there is the process, that is synthesis of mRNA, specific mRNA, by the process transcription. So, we will see all these details in the coming chapters thoroughly. And second thing is the basic mechanism of life, how life activity occurs in a particular cell. So, we all know that the theory of cell theory put forward by Rudolf Virchow. It was made by Schwann and Sheldon, and later it was modified by Rudolf Virchow. And according to that theory, we all know that it is made up of the basic structural and functional unit, the cell, and a cell is originating from a pre-existing cell. And the function of a single cell is the sum total of the functions of all the organelles present in it. So, in this way, in an intricate manner, all the organelles will work together and they will contribute to the function of a cell. And the function of different cells together forms the function of an organ, as well as the function of different organ systems contribute to the function of an organism. And when we are observing in this cell, there present the anabolic as well as catabolic reactions. We collectively call it as metabolism. Not only anabolic and catabolic reactions, there are amphibolic reactions also. So, anabolism we can correlate with constructive activity, that is A can be correlated to C, AC, anabolism, constructive mechanism, and destructive mechanism, that is catabolism, catastrophe, danger, damage, destruction. We can correlate with the destructive activity CD. So, correlate this phenomenon catabolism with the destructive activity CD, and anabolism you can correlate as constructive activity AC. So, you can memorize like this. Then there are reactions, biochemical reactions, metabolic reactions, that is both catabolic as well as anabolic. We will call it as amphibolic reactions. So, when we observe these metabolic reaction, for example respiration, it includes both catabolic as well as anabolic activities. There are so many intermediate products which are produced in between. The substrate that is converted into a product with the help of a specific enzyme by the mechanism of a lock and key mechanism. So, by this mechanism we will get the intermediate product, then from that intermediate product again the next product will be formed. So, like that with the help of a series of specific enzymes, one particular substrate that is converted into different products. So, there will be constructive mechanism as well as destructive mechanism. So, we will call this particular pathway as an amphibolic pathway. So, each enzyme is highly specific in this biological reactions. So, we have to study about the various metabolic reactions that takes place in our body. You all know that respiration, that is the secret of our life, that provides us energy for all the life functions. And this respiration, when you are observing, it is a catabolic reaction, where the hexose sugar glucose that is broken into the ultimate product carbon dioxide, water and energy. Energy is produced in the form of ATP molecule, adenosine triphosphate, by phosphorylation of ADP with inorganic phosphate, with the help of again the specific enzyme phosphorylase. So, here the chemical energy is converted and stored in the bonds of ATP molecules. Now, my question is whether this respiration takes place only in plants, only in animals. It will not take place in plants. It is a question. Yes, of course, it is taking place in all the organisms, in plants as well as in animals. And the main organelle that is needed for respiration is mitochondrion. And in the chapter photosynthesis, there is one phenomenon that you can see, photorespiration. We will deal the thing in detail. There you need 3 organelles. We can correlate or memorize it as CPM: chloroplast, peroxisomes and mitochondrion. So, by this respiration mechanism, there we will get the energy molecule in the form of ATP. With the help of that ATP molecule, each and every cell will work in a complex manner. Next, regarding the catabolic activities as well as these anabolic activities, that is the metabolisms, there comes the phenomenon photosynthesis. As we all know that it is a synthetic activity, so it is an example of an anabolic pathway using carbon dioxide, water and in the presence of light, the first hexocarbon, that is glucose, is produced. Then this glucose molecule that is converted into starch and stored in different parts of the plants for further utilization. Then in the chapter genetics, that is DNA, in that particular chapter we will learn about the protein synthesis, yet another metabolism. So, protein synthesis is again example of a constructive pathway, and why these proteins are synthesized, what is the need of it in the cell. Without protein there will not be any enzymes, and without protein there will not be any growth, repair or regeneration of the cell. So, protein synthesis is yet another constructive pathway that is highly essential for the existence of our life. And these proteins, some of them are involved in the constructive mechanism, that means they will build they are involved in the building up of the cells. So, they have structural function, and some are involved in functional activities, for example hormones and enzymes. All the enzymes are proteins but all the proteins are not enzymes. Enzymes play important role in all the metabolic activities. Similarly, the hormones, without the hormones there is no life or there is no life activities in humans. The rhythmic function of different types of hormones that will control the life activities of the organisms. Now, to study about the various organs, our complex body that is made up of different organ systems, and as a human being we all are to know about our different systems, their rhythmic function that controls our life activities. The different organ systems like nervous system, respiratory system, digestive system, excretory system and endocrine system, skeletal system, muscular system, all these are working in a rhythmic and balanced state, so that our body works in a coordinated manner at each and every time. Now, any malfunctioning of our body, that is known as disease. So, we as a biology students, we are to learn about our different systems, then only we can identify the functions, their importance and their drawbacks. So, by the learning biology that inculcates among the students to identify the different types of disease, their cause, how to recognize the disease, how to diagnose the disease and their symptoms, then remedial measures. By learning this, we can also help others also in emergencies to save their life. Most of the people, even the illiterate people, we can teach them the different symptoms of the disease, where those diseases will be diagnosed, what are the measures that can be adopted to treat that disease. I think prevention is better than cure. So, before getting the disease, we can give enough knowledge about different types of diseases, their symptoms, their diagnosis, their remedial measures to them, so that prevention is the best option rather than curing the disease. Now, in this field of biology, there is the use of modern technologies like biotechnology in the field of medicines for developing different types of vaccines and for detection of diseases. There is amplification of DNA by PCR methods, so that it will contribute to early diagnosis. And the same mechanism is used for crime detection also by using different samples. It may be a hair follicle, it may be an epithelial cell present in the saliva, or it may be a sperm cells, any of these cells that can be used as a material for crime detection by using these PCR methods. And it is again used for diagnosis, early diagnosis as well as treatment of different diseases. So many vaccines are produced by this method, for example, hepatitis vaccine and polio vaccines that are produced by recombinant DNA technology. Now, pollution is yet another burning issue that we are facing in our society. So, pollution is any unwanted activity, side effects of human activity. So, we can call it as anthropogenic activity. So, it results in so many health problems like allergy, asthmatic trends, bronchitis, or even it can lead to so many occupational diseases are also comes under this field. So, those who are working in the factories, they are to take preventive measures against these occupational diseases. by wearing mask, or they have to give shift duties, they have to give periodical medical checkup, and they are to wear mask like this. So, it is our bound responsibility to save our mother earth by planting trees. Plants act as filters, they will prevent pollution, they will minimize the pollution level. Moreover, they rejuvenate and spread green energy or even greenery to the earth. It will absorb the carbon dioxide and it will reduce this greenhouse effect. It plays an important role in preventing soil erosion. It mitigates the climatic changes, reduces excessive heat, prevents flood, etc. So, practice sustainable development. Developments are needed, but it must be in a sustainable manner and in a judicious manner without tampering the resources, natural resources. It is our bound responsibility to transfer the resources available in our earth to the coming next generation without spoiling it. Here comes the waste management program. We have to sort the waste into biodegradable and non-biodegradable. Biodegradable waste that are decomposed by microorganisms, whereas non-biodegradable waste that are not decomposed by the microorganisms. We have to use the biodegradable waste for compost pit making as well as vermicomposting. It can be used as a very good manure in our gardens for planting the purpose, for planting the trees. It will minimize soil pollution, it will not change the chemistry of the soil, it enhances the growth of microorganisms and it increases the fertility of the soil. It can also be used as producing green energy, biofuel. It reduces the pollution and thereby it will prevent the spreading up of the diseases. Now, we have to follow this organic farming. Use all the biodegradable waste materials for making compost pits as well as vermicompost and use it for agricultural purpose. We can also increase the agricultural production by using different hybrid varieties of plants, polyploid varieties as well as using tissue culture plants. Polyploid plants, they are growing very fast vegetatively and reproduces very quickly and it gives maximum products. So, thereby we can increase the yield in agriculture. Now, as a biologist, it is our bound responsibility to take care of the nature and its biodiversity. Any disturbance that creates in the biodiversity that leads to ecological imbalances, it affects the food chain and food web. So, we have to save our biodiversity and the different mechanisms that we are following to save the biodiversity is categorized into two: in situ methods of preservation as well as ex situ methods of preservation. We will see the details in the coming ecology chapters. In situ method of biodiversity preservation, where we have to save the biodiversity in its own habitat without tampering in the natural habitat. But in ex situ preservation, we have it to take the organisms from its natural habitat and keep them in artificial habitat. So, those organisms which are in the verge of extinction, we have it to keep them in the ex situ mechanism of preservation of biodiversity. In addition to this, there are so many reasons for the loss of biodiversity. One is alien species inversion, then over exploitation, and using the land area for excessive cultivation, agricultural purpose. So, by all these things we are tampering the ecological, we are creating ecological imbalances and we are tampering the biodiversity. Now, it is the time for you to give me the answer of a fantastic question: how the knowledge of biology helps to serve the people. In different ways we can help them by achieving complete health and hygiene. We can contribute the knowledge of biology in our society. It can help to avoid or to minimize the prenatal as well as postnatal mortality rate. It can spread the awareness about the vaccination and immunization programs, and we can ensure its availability among the public. We can promote the idea of resources, using the resources in a sustainable manner so that it can be transferred to the next generation as such. Now, we are facing the problem of waterlogging during heavy raining. So, we can practice so many methods to avoid this waterlogging in the society and the traffic jams that we are facing nowadays. We can motivate people to plant more and more trees to avoid pollution, to purify our environment, ensure the safe disposal of waste materials, to avoid the spread of diseases, to avoid the accumulation of waste materials, and to minimize pollution. Now, we have to ponder about a curious question: can study of biology helps to serve only human beings, not the animals or plants? Or and learning biology can make wonders in the world. How is it possible? Learning biology helps you to select so many different branches, mainly in the medical field. Being a doctor, you can save the life, the pretty life of the people, and save the nation, and you can act as a nation builder strongly. There is biology, there is life, even in all the domains of earth, even in the hot springs as well as in the deserts also. So, there is wide spread of life. So, why not biology become an interesting subject? So, learning biology is the best option to serve the nation and save the life of millions. Thank you.
Welcome to all. It is great privilege to me to stand before you I am thankful to our respected Commissioner Kendriya Vidyalaya Sangathan to being a part of this pilot project IIT PAL. I am also grateful to Dr. Aditya Mittal sir to give me this opportunities to being a member of this project. Today, I am going to present the topic why to study biology. It is very interesting. I am Mr. B.P. Shah, Kendriya Vidyalaya Kesapuram. I am a biology teacher since 1993. Being a biologist, being a biology teacher, my teacher, my respected biology teacher motivate me to teach biology, and finally, I become a biology teacher. One of the member who I do not forget, Dr. Leela Chand Shah, nowadays who is Vice Chancellor of RI University, who encouraged me to take biology and make biology as a career. Today topic is why to study biology. Biology itself, as the term decide, which means to study the living beings, including human beings. So, it is essential to study the biology each and every one. Biology is being a part which reflect the real picture of our life. Just for example, when I say mouth contain the different types of teeth. So, we can feel the teeth, the different types of teeth, that is the incisor, canine, premolar and molar. We can feel in our buccal cavity these 4 types of teeth are present, and there are different functions are there. Incisor which cut the things, canine which tears, premolar and molar which help in chewing and grinding. So, biology gives the real picture of our life. Biology means not the human beings, it is not only the to being a doctor, but there are different types of fields are there. Biology leads plant, animal, microbiology, as well as various types of living aspects. When we mean the living things, how the life is origin. There are various types of theories regarding this. The life originate, there are spontaneous generation, cosmic theory, different type of theory. Finally, it shows that life exists from the pre-existing life. For the life, there is a cell. Cell is the basic unit of life, which is the structural and functional unit of life. This cell, plant cell and animal cell, there are slightly different, but the function more or less is very similar. Inside the cell, there is nucleus which control the entire aspects of the entire activity of the cell. Finally, the group of cell which make tissue, this cell which were made by nucleus, inside the cell nucleus are present, this nucleus control the entire activity. When the cell going to be divided, this information came from the nucleus, which inside the nucleus there is DNA. In DNA which acts as a hereditary materials. DNA, there are large number of functions of DNA, it make their own copies as well as it control the various aspect, various other activities like protein synthesis, like replications, like it help in the making different types of enzyme. Without enzyme, life can't exist. There is no any metabolic process which governs without the enzymes. Just with a human being or the plant which have various type of characteristic features, like plant have cellular components. These cellular component are made by biomolecules. These biomolecules form the various type of metabolic activities. These metabolic activities which may be constructive, which may be destructive. Constructive make the cell grow. So, for the living beings, growth is very very essential. Growth is the permanent inheritable changes in mass, volume, weight. This growth is permanent and the growth leads to the increase the number of cell. This growth due to the reproduction. The cell is going to reproduce, cell is going to multiply with the help of the information came from the nucleus or the DNA, that is called nucleoplasm by cytoplasmic ratio. This nucleoplasm or cytoplasmic ratio that reveals the cell is going to be divided or not. There are the phenomenon shows metastasis. These cells are able to multiply, but in the control way. When it becomes uncontrolled, it becomes cancerous. That is responsible by the oncogenes. The life also shows the adaptations. This adaptation means the favorable adjustment with the environment. When the living beings is going to survive, it is going to adapt it. Just for example, a plant like cactus, it survive in the desert condition where water are in stress condition, water scarcities are there. So, this plant is going to be modified. Here the leaf changes into the spines, their stomata being sunken to reduce the loss of water. There is the another process like photosynthesis, that is CAM, crustacean acid metabolism. The normally plant photosynthesize, they make their own food with the help of carbon dioxide and water. They are going to respire. The reserve food material, that is carbohydrate, is going to be oxidized with the help of enzymes. It converted into carbon dioxide, water and huge amount of energy in the form of ATP. This ATP gives us to serve our various metabolic process. Life also shows the responses to the stimulus. Biology also tells us how people can maintain diversity of life. Without different type of organism which are related to each other to maintain the ecosystem, it also leads to better life of people as well as animal. It also helps special medical benefit. Special medical benefit means the biology also leads the different types of component which are found inside our body. Just for example, in circulatory system blood flows. These blood are made by RBC, WBC and blood platelets and so on. In any layman, when the becomes anemic, it means that the RBC count is become less. Being a biologist, we can say that the RBC count must be that particular level. When this level is going to be decreased, that patient becomes anemic. When the WBC count becomes increased, it also leads various type of diseases. So, being a biologist, being a biology, we know that how our body functions is normally works. It also studies the genetics and evolutions. The genetics leads that the how the character transmitted from the parent to offspring, mother father to the offspring, and which leads evolution. It also helps in biotechnology and their applications. Biotechnology nowadays it leads great change in our society as well as in different types of organisms. We nowadays we are able to make different types of transgenic plant and transgenic animal, which are most suitable in day to day life. It also maintains the ecology as well as our environment. Simply we can say biology is not only medicine, there are different type of aspects that leads biology, that is first thing is agriculture. The agriculture which leads the all the living beings depends upon the food. Food came from the agriculture. Before our independence, India is not able to grow such amount of food which leads the entire population to survive normal life. After the green revolution, which leads the different type of varieties of plants which are able to survive in our particular environment. One such example that Dr. Norman E. Borlaug, which used Mexican variety in our country and leads great change in our agriculture. The production of agriculture is so high, we are using nowadays high yielding varieties that is sufficient for the food production. Beside the agriculture, there is the veterinary sciences, basic sciences, pharmacy, biotechnology, biostatistics, bioinformatics, exobiology and lots more. Beside this, cosmetology, nutritionists, wildlife photographers, conservationists, marine ecologists, paleontologists, science fiction writer, and the list is going on. It is not only there are large number of agriculture college, medical colleges are there where the biology leads. Beside this, agriculture leads the different types of method, the modern method of reproduction to produce different types of yield in the particular time being. Nowadays, we are using plant breeding technique. The plant breeding technique which revolutionized the country to make In plant breeding technique, now we are using hexaploid wheat. This due to the polyploiding technique. We are using in agriculture emasculation technique. In emasculation technique, we make our choice, we can pollinate the different types of pollen grain to a specific type of plant. We make the hybridization technique to make different types of plant as well as fruits, which leads to our nutritional demand. Nowadays, we are using mutational breeding, apomixis. For the development of agriculture, now we are using the modern agricultural practices. These modern agricultural practices leads our country to fulfill the demand of our nutrition. We are using modern method of irrigation to minimum loss of water. Instead of chemical fertilizer, now we are using the biofertilizer instead of to save the environment as well as to produce high yielding varieties and more yield. Use high yielding variety of seed which fulfill the demand of our nutritional or agriculture demand. Use advanced method of harvesting technique which reduces the time of next cropping. Due to this technique, India have great revolutions like green revolution for agriculture, white revolution in milk, silver revolution for making egg products to make our country sufficient in nutritional demand. We are using nowadays microbes which cause disease as well as different types of wasteful materials. Now, we are using like spirulina for single cell protein. Use of different types of microbes for the production of labs, lactobacillus bacteria, use of these microbes as a chemicals, enzymes, bioactive molecules, use of genetically modified organism to increase over the yield. To study the biology, it overcome different types of abiotic stress, post harvesting loss like flavor saver tomatoes. It help in the mineral utilization like mycorrhiza. The growth of fungi with the help of root of higher plant. This help in mineral like phosphorus utilized by them, which increase the production of agriculture. There are certain slides to fulfill the demand of our ecosystem. Here there is the producers, from the producers the energy as well as the nutrition to the consumers, which gives heat. There is the flow of nutrition as well as energy from one level to the another level. So, this slide shows that as a biologist, we are using different type of method to fulfill our demand like biofortification. Biofortification that shows that the different type of nutrition which inculcate in the particular cereals, like just for example vitamin D rich rice. Rice majorly contain the carbohydrate. When we input the vitamins and other proteins, the beside the carbohydrate one can take vitamin as well as other nutritions like this. For this we can finally say that new technology for the food production, we are using different types of inbreeding, outbreeding technique to fulfill our demand in animal as well as plant. We are using MOET, artificial insemination technique used to increase the agriculture as well as animal husbandry. Besides this, there are large number of other techniques like apiculture, aquaculture, sericultures are also there, which fulfill the demand of our nutrition as well as increase the agriculture product. We are using by breeding technique program resistant variety of pest which control the our environmental pollution. So, finally, we can say that the use of biology or study of biology gives a lot of things which no a particular layman which have no biology knowledge, they can self assessed to lead the normal way of life. So, the use of biology या study of biology is very interesting. So, we can say that the student must know or every people must know the basic ideas of biology which leads the normal life. Thank you.